Last week on the channel, Jordy and Janik needed to make a superhero landing under 1 hour. And that got me thinking, most of you probably watched the Avengers, and one of the scenes that sticks the most with me is where the Hulk is smashing around Loki.
Puny God.
And now I want to find out the fastest and easiest way possible to recreate this effect.
It's time for the testing phase, and we have two things to test. First, the ragdoll that we smash around, and then the second one is the floor breaking up when the ragdoll hits the floor. Now, to test this all, we need a 3D model of myself, but we're not gonna make it again because we already have one from last week's Cine Battle where I made a superhero landing with a 3D model of myself, which we scanned with a 3D app. So now it's time for Lorenzo to smash me in the ground.
Don't try this at home.
So I'm going to use Justine's lag as a reference point to smash Janik around. And I think it looks pretty much the same as Janik's lag.
Now, what is a ragdoll or ragdoll physics? Well, you can compare it to a doll or a simulation of a character with no skeletal stiffness. And I thought to myself, how hard can this be? Well, my first test looked like this. Not what we're looking for. But after some research, I found out that creating a ragdoll physics isn't as easy as I thought. But after some testing, being confused, maybe some mild crying, and after some tweaking, I made this flubbery Janik. I know it's not the greatest ragdoll, but it's good enough for this test, and now Lorenzo can throw me around like a doll. Like we just saw, we are using a 3D model of ourselves. And you guys asked us a lot which app we used for this model. Well, the app is called In3D, and it's a super handy scanning tool for creating 3D models of persons. However, there's one small catch. The models aren't free, you need to pay €5 for each model. But besides that, the models are really decent for how fast you can create them. So definitely a tool worth having.
The second part of the effect is Janik getting thrown around and breaking the floor on impact. This I did by animating an object which followed my movement. However, you can't directly control a ragdoll. So I squeezed the object around Janik's wrist, and by doing this I was able to make him follow the movement. It's probably the most illegal way to do this, but if it works, it works. After animating the doll, I used the Voronoi fracture tool to break up the floor in different smaller pieces, and this way I was able to create the cracks in the floor.
I know, what a handsome guy there on your laptop or phone or computer. I know! My hair was getting out of control, it was getting its own life, so yeah. Now guys, let me know in the comments down below, would you rather see me this way or with crazy hair, like Lorenzo?
It's not that long.
It's super long. Janik!
You got that? Okay, let the slapping begin.
Alright, bring it on, Janik! Allee man! Heb jij dat gefilmd?
Ik heb het.
10 punten voor u, min 10 bij u. So here's a great tip guys, if you want to hit someone but fake it obviously, what you want to do first is take some distance so that you don't touch your subject and make sure that the camera is actually shooting from over the shoulder. And that way Janik is actually blocking it when I'm supposed to hit him. So that way you can actually see it, but it seems like I'm actually hitting him. You see? It was real. Add some sound effects and it's cool.
Lorenzo is going to need a reference point for the ragdoll when he's going to animate it, so I'm gonna hold this stick with some tracking points on it. We're not gonna track it, but this will serve as a reference point so Lorenzo knows which side the body is laying on in the animation.
Slap! Slap! Slap!
And of course I'm taking a 360 image to capture all the light right here in the studio so I can bring this over to the 3D environment. Next up I'm making a 3D model of Jordy so we can slap him around, And this I'll be doing with an app that we have on the iPhone. I am using In3D for this, but of course you have a million different apps to do this with. These are perfect if you need a quick 3D model that doesn't need a lot of detail. These apps work with the iPhone True Depth camera. This camera throws around thousands of dots, and with this it's able to create a depth map. This map, together with the pictures the app takes, it's able to create a pretty decent looking model.
Have to make sure the hair is good. Is the hair good?
Please look into the camera. Please look into the camera.
Where's the camera?
8, 7.
It's really hard. You have to do like, you have to turn your head, but at the exact same timing that the app tells you, you have to turn around, but you know, keep the same distance with your shoulder and your feet, and this, an angle here, an angle there. This is hard.
No, it isn't. For the last big special effect shot where I slap Jordy around in a scene, we're gonna shoot from a tripod. And why are we doing this? So that we can easily composite extra elements, assets into our shot without tracking the movement of our camera. And we know we need some smoke and debris in our shot, so I'm going to make it ourselves even easier and save a lot of time and go on Storyblocks. They have a wide variety of VFX assets you can use for every project that you want. And the best thing about Storyblocks is that you can download as much as you want, so you can really test out which asset is best for your project. Now, besides great VFX assets, they also have 4K stock clips, they have After Effects and Premiere Pro templates, which makes your life so much easier and your editing so much faster. Now, if you want to know more and start your unlimited downloads right away, go to the first link in the description below.
Now this week I'm not really helping that much with CopyCat because I'm working on a brand new class about After Effects. It's an advanced class which has been highly requested, so that's why I'm working on it. Now every time I'm actually making more of an entertainment class, so that is why I'm building this set right here. And I've got this very cozy sunlight there in the back, which has been created with the brand new F10 Fresnel mount, which we got from Aputure. They have a bunch of new accessories, which I'm going to leave a link to in the description down below. But with that light, we're able to focus through a cucullurus, which is basically just a cardboard with a shape of a window. And that way it feels like we've got a window in the back where we have sunlight coming through. You know, cheap tricks. That's what filmmaking is all about.
Now let's go back to the Ragdoll subject. As you know, we are pretty new to the 3D world, so this means we are also learning a lot with each video. And this was definitely the case with this Ragdoll. There isn't a simple button to create Ragdoll physics, so we had to do some figuring out, and it basically comes to chopping up your model on the spots that you need to bend, like the knee or the elbow or so on. Then connect them again with some hinges, and now you have a model that looks like a action figure. Finally give the model some dynamics and poof, Flubber Jordy. As I already said in the beginning of the video, the animation of the Ragdoll has to be done through another object. And to make this work exactly how I wanted, it took me a lot of tries. And this is because you have so many settings like the gravity, the drag, lift, friction, and so many other which influence the animation. So you need to find that perfect sweet spot to make it work. The cracks on the floor I made with the Verneuil fracture, like you guys already know. But to animate this, I animated a field going into the ground. These fields make sure that the movement of the pieces are restricted within the bounding box. This way you can manipulate the floor really accurately. Once all of that is done, I brought it to After Effects, added some extra elements like smoke and debris, and a camera shake to tie everything together. And after all of that, we had a pretty cool looking effect.
Okay guys, the rules are very simple. You each take a turn and slap each other in the face. The one that goes knockout the first loses. You got that? Okay, let the slapping begin.
Alright, come at me, bro. I'm gonna slap the blue right out of you, man. I'm gonna slap you so hard that you don't even know what 2 + 2 is gonna be anymore. Ah, Janet, man, you got like a face of iron. Ah, man. Oh, slap, slap, slap. What's 2 + 2, Jordy? 3?
And that was it for today, guys. I hope that Jordy isn't hurt too bad. But anyways, I won, so Team Blue! And guys, if you have another great idea to recreate a superhero power, let us know in the comments below. We read all your comments. Or if you have some other questions, just ask away. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you Storyblocks for the support. And as always, stay creative. Now let's go. Oh, Manneke!
Is this something? So I have to look like I was beaten up really hard. I'm not sure if this looks good. I'm no makeup artist.
That's all, folks. See you next week.